Triaging emergencies is what these people do all day, every day. The Shorepoint Port Charlotte ER staff planned for Ian before the first winds blew. Their sister hospital in Punta Gorda closed before the storm.
We reviewed what patients they had, patients that they could discharge, but patients also that would need to be admitted or transferred to us. They weren't going to be able to discharge all their psychiatric patients. So we ended up opening a unit.
When the full brunt of Ian hit, a nearby hospital in Port Charlotte was severely damaged, making this one the last resort, and it took a beating.
There's the tree down.
We realized, a lot of our doors were not going to stay closed through these winds. We had to alter the doors to keep them closed to keep us safe. And we still had people coming, driving through this to be seen in the ER.
Knowing that we were supposed to be closed and the doors were closed and there was a patient that needed to come in, that's when I thought, this is real.
And you have to make that moral decision. Do you unlock the door and let them in? And I did that a few times, and it was scary.
The hospital ultimately evacuated the ER, moving up 3 floors after taking on water. But the flood of patients came after the storm. Shorepoint was the only hospital open for 30 miles.
There were patients literally as far as you could see. Everywhere, every chair, every room, hallways, lobby. We have an elderly community that relies on their oxygen, CPAP machines, nebulizers, and with no home power, a lot of people were running out of oxygen.
I would see what we would have, and I would look at people and ask them why they're here, try to just assess what's going on out there. It's tough for one person to manage 100 people out in a waiting room after a disaster.
At one point, there were over 200 patients in the waiting room of our emergency department alone.
This was the only hospital for 7 days, but there were weeks of long shifts. A year later, the storm team is still together, standing strong.
We're all emergency type people. We all choose this, as our specialty because we have the ability to kind of compartmentalize and really focus on what I have to do right now to help this person.
I'm proud of the team. They really pulled together, and it was pretty neat to see how everyone knew their roles, they stepped up.
We're family ultimately, so we held it together as a family.
Because that's what you do in tough times. Amy Osher, Wink News.